Hey, Dr. C, this is my presentation for the second extra credit assignment this semester. I did mine on the crucifix. So the history of the crucifix. It's used in various types of Christianity, but primarily in Catholicism, Angelicism, and Eastern Orthodox churches. The history of the crucifix dates back to the beginning of Christianity and has been a constant symbol of Catholicism for 1500 years. There's many different versions and types of crucifixes. The two I have down here are just two of them. They aren't especially important, but they're just two that I was going to point out just as examples. So the first one was the San Domenico crucifix. The crucifix was designed in the 11th century in San Domenico, Italy, by an Umbrian artist. There are many variations of the specific crucifix. And then the second one I put on here was the pardon crucifix. Popes often use this type of crucifix when granting indulgences. The back of the crucifix says, "Father, forgive them," and the long arm says, "Behold this heart which has so loved men." Here's an example of the two different types of crucifixes. What is a crucifix? Originally, the crucifix just represented a symbol of death, but over time that has changed. A crucifix is a cross with Jesus's body crucified on it. It's important to know the difference between a cross and a crucifix. A crucifix must have Jesus's body on it and it to be considered a crucifix, not just a cross. Crucifixes represent suffering and sacrifice that Jesus went through during his death and his resurrection on Easter. It also represents the redemption because Jesus was crucified to forget everyone's sins. Crucifix often say INRI on them, which is an acronym that means Jesus of Nazareth, King of Jews, when translated from Latin. This is an example of a crucifix that says INRI on it. What are crucifixes used for? Crucifixes are always above or on the altar in Catholic churches, usually very big in the main/centerpiece decoration of the sanctuary. What I meant like that, I didn't know what a different word to use, but decoration, it's just in the center. Usually it's like it's the first thing you look at when you walk in. And then a crucifix leads the procession at the beginning of a Roman Catholic Mass and an Angelican Holy Eucharist. People often pray in front of a crucifix while sitting, standing, or kneeling. Crucifixes are often placed in people's home because of the belief that crucifix oppose demons and other evil spirits. In my house, my mom has crucifixes in basically every room. And when I moved to my dorm, my mom put a crucifix in my room there. So my mom likes to put crucifix in all rooms because of that reason. And then crucifixes are also used for blessings and rituals in various religions. So a lot of at least in Catholicism that I have been, and also Orthodox churches that I've been to, they'll use crucifixes in their ceremonies for certain like sacraments, and it's what they would call them in Catholicism, like communion or reconciliation. The part of the ceremony there will be crucifixes and part of it. How have crucifixes maintained religiosity? Crucifixes are still used in many religions today. So what I'm trying to say by that is that they haven't gone away after they've been around for so long, as I was talking about in the history before, where it's been a big thing in Catholicism for 1500 years, and then also in just other types of Christianity too. And then in Catholicism specifically, crucifixes are still seen all over the insides of churches and are involved in many of their sacraments and rituals. This all relates to that last slide a little bit. You'll see crucifixes used in a lot of the sacraments in Catholicism, and then also in masses that they have every day, or that you're supposed to go at least every Sunday to. And when you go to church, they're all over the place. So they're very common to see. Crucifixes have maintained their religiosity by being used or seen in common religious activities and practices frequently by the religious followers. So that's just and that was just the point I was trying to make, that that's how they've kept being a religious item. How crucifixes relate to rituals. So crucifixes are used in many religious rituals in many various religions today. So that's how they relate to rituals. Mythology, crucifixes symbolize Jesus dying for our sins, but some people believe Jesus is a myth, or that certain stories about Jesus are myths. So it could be considered mythology to some people. And then institutionalization of charisma. This one was the hardest one for me. From my understanding, that means having like a charismatic leader that attracts people to join their religion. And so I thought crucifix is connected to that by having a God. It represented having a God that was strong and brave enough to die for our sins. So it may cause people to have more of an interest in a religion with having a God that's strong or powerful or brave, maybe, is how I thought it could connect. And then these are just my citations, and that's the end of it. So thank you.